Hello and welcome to yet another installment of our Barstool reviews here on the 24 channel. This time around, we're hanging out with the brand new Mercedes-AMG EQE 43. As per usual, I'll be showing you my first impressions of this car from looks, inside, we take it on a drive, and I give you my overall impressions of it. Without any further ado, let's go. First things first, let's have a look at the looks of this AMG EQE 43. What you're greeted with in front are those vertical slats that represent a more traditional AMG vehicle, and then on the lights you have that V-shape LDRs. Once you move just underneath that, you have black detailing that further emphasizes that this is actually an AMG model. And then as we move to the side, you have very clean and smooth lines, but also muscular proportions that we've seen even in the EQS model and that EQS SUV that we reviewed on this very same channel. And then once you move to the back, you're greeted with that light bar that emphasizes that EQ range, that it's here. And then there's very smooth, very clean, and again, no tailpipes here because it's an all-electric vehicle, so you wouldn't expect to see them at all. I think next, it's worthy that we move into the vehicle so that I can show you all the amazing tech that you can look forward to. Right, let's take a seat inside the EQE 43. Once you do that, you're greeted with two very bright OLED screens. There's one for the driver for his instrumentals, and then there's a second one for your infotainment system. This very same screen is the same one that we saw in the C-Class and other Mercedes models that were released before. Unfortunately, this model type or this vehicle doesn't feature that hyper screen that we saw in the EQS SUV, although you can tick it as a 150,000 Rand option when you are actually making up your car. Once you take a seat or step back, you're greeted with very comfortable seats in the front and the rear of this vehicle. And because this is based on the E-Class models that we know from Mercedes, this EQE offers the same proportions in the sense of you get that ample room space once you're seated inside. Unfortunately, the one that we're driving is a little bit specced on the, least power side of life, but if you want to, you can really go all out and make it your favorite model. I think right now we can take it for a drive so that I can tell you what that feels like, and then we close off this review. So here's the thing that doesn't really make sense for me, is the fact that electric cars are already this fast, and I want to say they have a sporty feel because there is no lag when you're driving this vehicle trying to, obviously there are no gears to change or anything to maneuver. So it really didn't make sense for me why AMG would get involved into an electric vehicle when already the standard ones are already doing that much and there's already that much power to play around with. Until I drove this vehicle, it really makes sense because for that enthusiast that really wants to drive an AMG powered vehicle, electric vehicle for that matter, you have the option to do that. This car, though, it does feel a little bit like a normal electric vehicle to me, that is, because I'm used to that instantaneous power, that instantaneous feel when you're driving the vehicle. So, difference-wise, there isn't really much to bargain here with. But for those that really want the AMG name badge, by all means, have a look at this EQE 43 as an option. But driving dynamic-wise, this car is sublime. It's super perfect. But although when you're driving it in suburban areas where there are potholes and some humps as well, that may be not so nice to experience. Well, in my experience, that is. But other than that, for this price tag of 2.2 million Rand, I would recommend this vehicle. Someone, obviously, that has that money available and looking for an AMG car to invest in. The other thing for me is the range on this car. When we fully charged this EQE 43, we got about 360 kilometers worth of range. At most, the maximum output comes to 390. That for me is a negative because for an EV, I really wanted to go far when I'm traveling. But if you're going to use it for fun, then why not? The other thing, and my last thing, about driving this vehicle and comfort inside is the space on the rear seats. It's not ample, especially for someone of my height. Coming in at 1.89 meters, it really is a negative and a pinch when you're riding with a full house. I think next, let's wrap up this review so I can give you my final impressions of the car and what else you can look forward to. Sure, Can you believe that we've come to the end of our Mercedes-AMG EQE 43 review? It's been a wild ride and an amazing one at that. Look, I really dig this car. From the color itself alone, from those big wheels that you get on this vehicle. These ones are the 21 inches with a beautiful rim to match. And then inside there's that red AMG belt as well included, and those beautiful sports-like seats in the vehicle. The only thing that's missing really is that hyperscreen for me as well. Mercedes could have kitted this car out with that hyperscreen to just show the car at its fullest potential, I think. And another minus, as I've mentioned just now, is the range. I really am not a fan of the 300 or sub 300 range on this vehicle. Then again, power is to match, coming in at 858 Newton meters with a price tag of 2.2 million rand. If you're considering an electric vehicle, why not splurge out on the EQE 43? But if that's not for you, just opt for the normal EQE 450 or 350 that you can find on dealership floors. Then again, personally, this is me, I would rather go for the EQS SUV that we have reviewed previously, and then I can live my happiest life. But from myself and this beautiful EQE 43 behind me and gift behind the camera, have a good one.